Hi everybody, Andrew here again from kwmwine.com, your favourite place to buy wine and spirits online, of course. Today we're trying the Cave de Turckheim Sables et Galets Gewurztraminer from the 2015 vintage. So firstly, Cave de Turckheim would be a cooperative based in Turckheim, obviously, and Colmar, that area of northeastern France. They'll be regarded as one of the best cooperatives in the world for consistency and quality of the products produced. They're very, very good at what they do. And you find like the Cave de Hunneweir in Alsace as well is also a very, very good cooperative up there too. So sometimes you get cooperatives, the quality of them can be dodgy, but there's certainly a hierarchy, and Cave de Turckheim would be right up there with the best. So Alsace is up in that northeastern part of France, on the sort of the eastern side of the Vosges Mountains. I'm trying to picture it all in my head here. The Vosges Mountains. So you've got Alsace on the eastern side, and then you've got Lorraine on the western side. So Lorraine would be one of the wettest parts of France. It gets all the weather, and it's sort of kind of between Alsace and Champagne. There's no grape growing or anything goes there, but all the rain falls in Lorraine, stops at the mountains, and then on the other side in Alsace is one of the driest parts of France. So it's perfect for grape growing, and particularly for aromatic varieties such as the Gewurztraminer. So Alsace, is maybe some of you may know or may not know, has had a very interesting history. It's a fascinating place, and if you ever do get the opportunity to go, I must say, go and visit. I was lucky enough to be there once and visited the town of Rijkweer, where Hugel would be based. And it's a beautiful, like, sort of picture postcard, Hansel and Gretel style villages and towns. They are stunning and produce fantastic wines in that particular part of the world as well. Now, I could talk about Alsatian wines all day long, because there's so much to talk about, in terms of the history of the area, the types of grape varieties they use. They're unlike anything else in France. For example, the Gewurztraminer, and Alsace would be seen as the best place in the world to buy Gewurztraminer from. It just has the perfect climate for that particular grape. But unfortunately, the Gewurztraminer grape wouldn't be the most popular of grape varieties for a couple of reasons, probably. One, people look at it and go, how do you even pronounce that? What is it? Two, the Alsatian, the Flute d'Alsace, the bottle shapes, people go, oh, it's German Riesling, it's too sweet, I don't want to drink that. Clearly wrong. So, and it's white as well. So it's, there's several different things which sort of hold it back a little bit. And certainly in our market, in the UK, Ireland market, Alsatian wines, they have a little place in there among sort of the people with a bit of wine knowledge, I suppose, people who are interested in these things. But they produce super bottles of wine, really, really are excellent, I must say. So Gewurztraminer, Gewürz means spicy in German, and if you know your history of Alsace, it's constantly changed from French to German, depending on what war it's been, and currently it's in French hands, and it seems to going to be staying that way as well, hopefully. So yes, let's get in and taste this. So Gewurztraminer typically is a grape variety which would tend to be quite fat, quite viscous, would have a bit of sweetness typically to it, and very, very distinctive flavours and notes to it, sort of your lychees, if you ever get to try those, are like an Asian style tropical fruit. Lychees, rose petal, lychees would be very much on that rose flavoured spectrum, those sort of Turkish delight flavours and that peachy sort of styles. You get a bit of spiciness going on to it, hence the name, Spicy Traminer. So let's have a look at this. When you pour this in and you move it around the glass, you definitely can see there's weight to the wine. Now, Sables et Galets would be a mid-tier level, I suppose. For the Cave de Hunneweir, they do a more basic standard wine in this, which is very pleasant too. But this here is a little step up, so the quality and concentration should be better. It's made in a traditional method, and what that really means for Alsace is sort of after harvest, it's fermented in oak foudre, as they're called, these big sort of oak barrels, which don't affect the flavour really so much. It may as well be stainless steel, but it's just a traditional way of doing it, because the inside of these foudre are sort of caked with tartrates, which basically lets no oak through to the wine, but it gives it a softer sort of fermentation, I suppose. So yes, quite weighty on the depth, I suppose, to it, you know, viscosity to this wine. Now, Gewurztraminer typically has high-ish enough, can have high-ish enough alcohols, because it would have quite big sugars to them to start with, depending on when they're harvested, of course. 13%, so it's not too bad, I suppose, for this. Let's jump in. Oh yeah, very, very characteristic nose, just jumps out of those rose petals straight away. You know, if you ever get these blind in a tasting, they're quite easy to spot. Sometimes you might mix them up with like a Viognier, which would be sort of have similar fruit flavours to it as well. But if you saw a Viognier and a Gewurz side by side, you could tell the difference quite easily. Nice rose petals, those lychees. Certainly there's a bit of spice, pepperiness in there as well. Quite a lot of really ripe peach going on. Oh, beautiful. Now, there is a bit of sweetness to this. It's not sweet, like dessert sweetness or anything, but it would be a medium style, medium dry, medium sweet style. You get that initially. Now, one thing that Gewurztraminer typically in the past has maybe fell down a little bit on is that the alcohol is going to be too high and there may not be enough acidity. They've got a nice balance in this, because you get the sweetness and then you get a nice freshness of acidity coming through. It's not really crisp or anything like that there, but just enough to clean out that sweetness and sort of cloydiness. You get that little bit of alcohol on the finish. A really nice peachy style fruit coming through on the palate, and that wee bit of peppery finish to it. Really beautiful bottle of wine, I must say. Now, again, these are not everybody's cup of tea, I suppose, but if you like something with a little bit more sweetness and you never try Gewurztraminer, definitely have a go at something like this here. I had some of this with cheese, and it is a brilliant match. It actually, that little bit of sweetness just works really well, and it'll work well with a range of cheeses as well, you know, from your sort of camemberts right through to your sort of blue cheeses and things like that. Really nice bottle of wine to drink with that sort of stuff. Spicy Asian dishes, you know, say if you're having a green curry or something like that there, it might work quite well. Pork, things like that, Chinese pork could work quite well with it as well. So, lovely bottle of wine. Don't walk past Alsatian wines on the shelf. If you see them, have a look at them, pick them up. Predominantly white wines, you know, so Gewurztraminer, Rieslings particularly as well, Pinot Gris, Pinot Blancs, Auxerrois, Sylvaners, things like that. So yeah, and then in a red they do a Pinot Noir, and they do some really nice Cremant from that part of the world as well. And lastly, Sables Galets means sand and pebbles in French, I believe. So it's really the sort of types of soils that it really comes from, I suppose. But lovely bottle of wine, nice concentration, nice flavours and fruit, and quite a lot of bang for your buck. Sells for around £13–14 a bottle. Not a lot of money for what you get, and it's definitely out there beyond the Sauvignon Blancs, the Chardonnays and Pinot Grigios of the world. It's one that you want to try. I really like that. So there you go. It's the Cab de Hunouir Sables Galets Gewurztraminer from 2015. Remember, kwmy.com, the place where taste matters. Cheers.